Hey, I'm Kylie of Kylie M Interiors, online paint color consultant and e-design expert. Today we're going to take a look at Sherwin-Williams Aesthetic White. Now this is a color that should be more popular given how flexible it is. And that's because a lot of people these days, they want to get into the gray and grayish world. But it can be really tough when they have warmer finishings in their home. But they don't necessarily want the typical beige or tan look, which is where Aesthetic White comes into play. So Aesthetic White is an off-white beige that leans just a little bit into gray. So it loses that typical golden look that a lot of beiges and tans can have. Aesthetic White has an LRV of 73. LRV is light reflectance value, and it tells you how light or dark a paint color is on a scale of 0, which is black, to 100, which is white. Aesthetic White sits at 73. So that's really, it's an off-white, but it's on the border of being in the light range, so it has a little bit more meat on its bones. Now, if you have, say, a north-facing room or a room with, let's go, eastern afternoon light, western morning light, these can be flatter lights or cooler lights. Aesthetic White can be a nice way to balance that a bit without going to a typical warm color, but you will see it lean a little bit more into its tiny bit of a gray base, that bit more in those exposures. Now, if you have south-facing light, which is warm or glorious afternoon western sunshine, this guy's going to be gorgeous, and it's not going to go so warm that it's golden beige. It's going to be a passive warmth. Now, one of the best ways to pick a paint color is comparison, so let's check out a few. What do we got here? Sherwin-Williams Incredible White. So Incredible White is more of a, we'll call it an off-white, taupe, grayish kind of color. You can see how much warmer Aesthetic White is in comparison. There's Incredible White, looking a little bit more grayish, a little bit more taupe. I don't want to do that one yet. Haren Plume, similar idea. It's a little bit warmer than Incredible White. A little bit more of a pinky purple undertone in there, but you can still see a little bit more depth with the LRV there and a little bit of that beige warmth. Let's also look at Accessible Beige. So this is what you could say is kind of the light depth version of Aesthetic White. So if you have a palette where you want to do a lighter color, say in a hallway or entryway, you can really transition nicely between those two. One more, and I wish I had the big chip, I couldn't find it. This is actually Benjamin Moore Gray Mist, and it's the closest comparable color within both brands, really. I know it's not super easy to see, but Gray Mist, it follows a similar line in that it kind of has a beigey, grayish, gray look, but there's actually a little bit of a green undertone in here. Now, the funny thing is that once in a while, Aesthetic can grab the tiniest wink of green, like super minor, but Gray Mist can help you see how subtle that green actually is, because compared to Gray Mist, it's hardly even there. Now, as for white paint colors, being a color with a higher LRV is going to be fussy. So if you have warm white trim, creamy white trim, it's going to be a little fugly. So you can see how this is Sherwin-Williams Alabaster. The yellow in Alabaster is reacting to the beige in there. Not super happy with each other. If we bump that up, clean it up a little bit, take some of that cream out, we hit Pure White, which is considerably better, but we can do better. Sherwin-Williams High Reflective White. That really lets Aesthetic White do its job as an off-white beige paint color with a really soft neutral base to it. So that's Aesthetic White. I do have a review of it and a lot of these colors on my blog as well. I hope you'll check me out on Instagram, and thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel.